Yo, what's good, y'all? It's your boys, The Wetic, and we're back with a special edition. I guess I can't really call this lyric breakdown. This is just a straight up album breakdown, all right? As you guys know, if you've been paying attention to everything, man, I just dropped a new album, In Plain Sight, my second R&B album, presented by Fifth Dimension Studios, produced by my boys, Icy Beats and Dangerlin, arranged by myself, executive produced by myself. I wrote it, recorded it, mixed it, did a lot, put a lot of work into this. So for this video, I kind of just want to break down, song by songs and inspirations and maybe just, the story of the album, things like that. Just want to really get in depth with what I did for this album, just to give everybody a little more context and just to, a real deep dive, the way that I do with music, the way that I treat music, the way that I love it. I just want to get into a nice a breakdown of it. So let's go ahead and get into it. Track number one, we have just a little, like, less than a minute interlude. Just really basic. There's no drums on it. Just wanted to, just a smooth little interlude. There really isn't much to it. Got my boys Icy Beats and Dangerlin singing backgrounds on that one, and they're singing backgrounds on the whole album pretty much. So yeah, it's just a real kind of to ease you into the album, real basic, real simple stuff. So going into track two, we have One Take, and this was the first single from the album. This was the first song that I really wrote to. I think Strange Madness, we had the beat too, but One Take was the one that I initially just started writing, so this kind of kicked the whole project off. For this album, I had played a little, like I was playing some chords and I was playing like a little bass line, just messing around with some keys, and then I kind of just handed it off to my boy Gator, and he just took what I had and kind of just made a whole, gave me an 8-bar loop, something that I was really happy with, something that I thought was really dope. So I just kind of extended it, arranged it, and I got it ready for writing. And for this particular song, I was really going for and inspired by Janet Jackson, and just the way that she has really smooth, slow jams that are, and this isn't really all the way slow, but it's kind of like mid-tempo. It's definitely kind of brought down, as opposed to something like Strange Madness or Crescent Moon that's really like up-tempo and really fast. I wanted this to really be laid back, mellow, kind of sexy, you know what I'm saying? I was really going for just a real smooth R&B vibe, a really classic, traditional type of R&B vibe. As I've stated before, this album was really inspired by the 80s, but I didn't want to like straight up just duplicate everything that I loved. I kind of just wanted to take what I loved and apply it to what I think I could do well. So that's really what I was doing here, especially with some of the harmonies that I did in the hooks and the pre-hook and things like that. Dangerlin hitting me with a killer guitar solo at the end, and like I said, just wanted to make it really sexy, just really beautiful, sweet music to hear, and just set the tone off early. I really loved it. Like I said, when I write lyrics, I try to get really poetic and just kind of listening to what you don't say. That's kind of like I feel like that's something that women want to hear, you know what I'm saying? I feel like it's something that a lot of men nowadays are not really expressing, paying attention to, and I feel like women do a lot of communicating without communicating, and men, we're so oblivious sometimes that we don't catch all that shit. So that's kind of just where that song was inspired from, and how I just put it together, how it came to be. I really love that song, man. That's why I picked it for the first single. I just felt like out of all the tracks, it was really giving me, it's probably my favorite track on the album, just because it's so, just traditional, just real traditional. That's how it went on. Next track here, Strange Madness, featuring Stimulator Jones. And Stimulator Jones, man, shout out to him. I really appreciate having him on the project. He's one of my favorite artists. He's signed to Stone's Throw Records. He mostly makes R&B music. He produces and writes all his own stuff, but he just has a really certain specific sound that I love so much. He has one of my favorite songs like in the past decade. It's called Soon Never Comes. And he just really makes music out of that traditional R&B sense, that very Prince inspired, the things that I've you know, just checking out his social medias and just hearing the way that he speaks about music and stuff like that, I really was inspired and lucky that I came across an opportunity to have him, you know, play a guitar solo on the track. It was really great. I mean, he just absolutely murdered it. It's just gave the song like a real arena rock type of feel. I really loved it. Stepping into new boundaries with the sound. Obviously, it's an up-tempo sound. This beat, I had my boy Icy Beats make this beat. It was my birthday a couple years back, and I was just kind of telling him I had found this drum kit on the machine that I just I really loved. I really wanted him to incorporate, and I was kind of telling him what I wanted. You know, a guitar here, a synth here and there, and before you know it, we had this really nice kind of dancey track. Like I said, really up tempo. I think the BPMs is like 120, I think, or maybe even faster than that. So this one is probably more so inspired by that Prince, Morris Day, The Time, Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, and with a little like splash of Janet Jackson too along there. I think really what I was doing on the pre-hook was definitely very reminiscent to some of the harmonies that I hear a lot in Janet Jackson's albums, things like that. Yeah, I just wanted to make a feel-good song, kind of just up-tempo. It's very like dream-like. I feel like the things that I'm saying and the lyrics are very kind of like not fantasy, but just you really kind of have to visualize the things that I'm saying in the lyrics, and that's, you know, that's how I like to write. That's how I like to write songs. It's just got this energy, this really pumping energy that just, I don't know, it makes me feel some type of way. I felt special about it when the beat was being made, and I really took my time to write it and work out the harmonies. I think I rewrote the bridge a couple of times just to make sure that, you know, I was getting it right, and just something that I was really happy with, something that I felt reflected what I was envisioning for the track. I love it. I think it's a colorful type of track. I think it's just it's kind of like borderline parody, like, I don't know, kind of satirical, but it's not jokey, you know, but it's definitely, it's fun. It's just a fun track, and that was really what I was going for with that track in particular, and I really think we knocked it out the park with that one. I love that track, Strange Madness. Okay, so the next track here is called Crescent Moon. Now this track is special in particular for me because this is the first track that I've released that I have produced, right? People that know me, I don't make beats. That's really not what I'm into. I really love writing songs. It's really kind of my bread and butter. I've never really produced, you know, I kind of mess around with it here and there. I've made a beat or two, like, you know, over the years, but I really don't I don't consider myself a producer or a beat maker per se. But one day I was just kind of messing around with some sounds on the keyboard, and I just, you know, kept building it. I had my boy Icy Beats. He came in and added some extra guitar, a bass line, and a kick drum. But other than that, I kind of put everything together. And this is a really kind of wild track. I mean, there's a lot happening as far as sounds. I used a lot of different synths and just kind of weird. It's just a weird track, straight up. I definitely got experimental with it. The biggest inspiration behind this track, this might sound kind of weird, but Daft Punk in particular was something that I was listening to a lot when I was thinking about concocting this song. And I just really love, like I said, coming off the heels of Strange Madness, I really just wanted some up-tempo, dancey stuff. It's even faster than Strange Madness. I think the BPM is 135 for Crescent Moon. I was really inspired by certain Daft Punk songs that they have certain songs that it's just a hook repeated, you know? It's like the whole song is basically just a hook. And so initially that's what I had here for Crescent Moon. I had different structures for the hooks. So I started off first, it was twice, and then it was like 4 times, and then it was like 8 times. I kind of had a weird build up to it. And just listening, and like I said, the way that I worked on this project, I was just redoing everything and making sure that everything was right, and something just didn't feel right, in particular about that track when it was just the hook. So I kind of cut a couple of things, and I just decided, you know what, man, I'm gonna write a verse and let me just see how this goes down. Let me see how it feels, and just a rap verse. And let me kind of specify, because you know, rapping is kind of my main that's my main thing. That's what I do. I'm a rapper, I'm a lyricist, I'm a writer. That's what I do. Doing this R&B stuff is new for me. It's a challenge for me. But for some reason, this song, I think it was just calling to me, like, I don't know, let me just write a verse and see how it sounds. And the first verse that I wrote came out really, really, really good. I was really happy with it, so I just decided to go with another one. And for some reason, to me, that just felt better. It felt right. I feel like when you're listening to the project, it's very unexpected, because I'm hitting you with nothing but R&B. It's R&B stuff, and I feel like these raps kind of hit you out of nowhere, but it's nice because it's kind of in and out, and it's very fast paced. Like I said, it's very fun. I was really just going for a good time. I want you to listen to the song and just have a good time. So I really like this song. It's a really special one for me. I think whenever we do a deluxe edition of the project, I would like to do like an extended version, like a club mix or whatever, you know, how they used to do extended mixes back in the day. I think that would be really fun. So we'll see how that goes, and you know, I'm looking forward to it. I think it's a track I could do a lot with still, even though it's already out. So next up we have, and this right here is really the halfway point of the album, right? I structured this album for it to be an A and a B side, right? So like I said, I was really inspired by the 80s and really just trying to tap into what they were doing with, as far as the structure of the albums and things like that. So I looked at this and I said, I need a definitive A side and B side, because that's just how it used to be. So the way that I look at it is Neo to Crescent Moon, tracks 1 through 4, it's an 8-track project. That to me is a side A. So now we're going into side B here, track 5, In Plain Sight. And this is a very different vibe than the first half of the project has been. I feel like the first half of the project, it's been kind of electronic, a little bit up-tempo, or kind of, one take is not up-tempo, but it's just fun. I feel like the first half is really fun, and I guess when it comes to the story and the narrative of the album, it's kind of like symbolic to when you're having a good time and you're kind of oblivious to what's going on, right? So I guess in the context of this story, I guess what I'm really trying to convey here with this song, particularly In Plain Sight, the title track of the album, it's really important that I'm conveying that the good times that I was having, and I was really just kind of partying for the first half of the album. It's just a party. I'm having a good time. I'm trying to forget about stresses and things like that. And I feel like once I get to In Plain Sight, that's when everything kind of comes down and you're faced with what the truth is. And it's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of representative of my life. I feel like I've gone through things like that before, where you're throwing yourself into situations to try to forget about things, and then finally you're left with what's there and you got to figure it out. And I think that's really what I was conveying here on In Plain Sight, the title track. I was talking about, you know, the hook of the song says, you know, I was searching for something that was hiding in plain sight. That's really kind of the accompaniment. That's kind of the summary of the whole album. It's just you're looking for something, and the answers were in front of you the whole time. And I think that's really what I was trying to convey here with not just the writing here, but the arrangement of the song, you know, doing 2 bridges, having the bridge come twice, and just kind of like fully realizing myself as an arranger, as an executive producer, as a musician, period. I think that's really, really what this song here represents. It's a really important song to me. I went through so many different stages of just recording it and listening to it and being not happy with it and re-recording it. I think I rewrote the song like maybe a couple of weeks before the album even came out, because I was just so frustrated with just how it was just me overthinking everything. You know, I just had to come back later and get a couple seconds with it to regain like just level-headedness, because I was just I was working so hard on this album. It was like taking over me. So I kind of just needed to pull myself away from the situation to realized what I had here with the song, and then I ended up re-recording the lead vocal in my falsetto because I just felt like it was felt more comfortable. It just sounded better. It felt better. So this song in particular was very it was a lot of work, you know, and I think it deserved it, and it shows because the title of the track is supposed to the title of the album is supposed to like just really, like I said, embody the whole album, what the message is and what I'm really trying to convey. So yeah, really dope song, man, in plain sight. So going into the next track here, it's Last Chance, and this is the second interlude, and this is really the transitional point of the album where, like I said, you're ignoring all these problems, you're trying to run away from all this stuff, and it's like now you need to really make a decision that is gonna hurt some people, you know, probably yourself even for a little bit, but it's the right decision. And that's kind of what this interlude represents, is everything is kind of calming down and you're able to take a deep breath and just look around and finally make a decision. And going into the next track, Too Much Too Late, this is probably like the most sad track, I guess. You know, I've been trying to get away from sad, and I feel like I've been making a lot of music in my career that's been very struggle based. I've always been talking about a struggle. I've always been trying to overcome something, and I feel like this is the first project where I'm not doing that. But this song in particular is probably the biggest like problem in the story as far as the album goes, and it's pretty much just a breakup track. It's just a track about when someone is just holding on to a situation that doesn't need to be held on to anymore, dragging it out, and there's just no reason for it. And that's kind of just me having a conversation with myself and just thinking about what's right and what I should do. And that's really what this was inspired by. The sounds of the track in particular were heavily inspired by Sade. Of course, she's one of the biggest musical inspirations for me, period. I forgot to mention that the last track, In Plain Sight, that was really inspired by Earth, Wind & Fire and Philip Bailey. You know, like I said, I hit the falsetto, and I was just really trying to embody the structure and the arrangement that Maurice White was doing with Earth, Wind & Fire. I was really inspired by that after watching the verses between them and the Isley Brothers. So going into Too Much Too Late, like I said, I feel like every song on the album, I've been kind of pulling inspiration from certain artists. So Too Much Too Late was kind of my Sade / Janet Jackson. You know, I dropped the line of That's the Way Love Goes. I did that purposely because I know that when Jimmy Jam was talking about putting together That's the Way Love Goes for Janet, they were really going for a Sade type of vibe. They played it for Chuck D, and he was like, yeah, that's that Sade type shit. So that's kind of, it was like a reference to a reference, I guess, the whole sound. I feel like only music nerds will probably catch that. But yeah, my homie Tony TAGZ blessed me with a beautiful verse. I feel like his lyrics just really summarized what I was talking about. I mean, just holding on to a situation and just, oh man, just the way he put it together. And of course his flow is just bar none. You guys are gonna have to bug him if you guys want a lyric breakdown for the way he put that together, because this really isn't his type of vibe. He doesn't really make tracks like this, so you guys might gotta bug him for a quick little lyric breakdown of that one, man, because it's really dope. Too Much Too Late, that's becoming a fan favorite so far that I'm hearing in the first week that the project's been out. So yeah, let me know if you guys are feeling that one the way that everybody else is, because I love that one too. And so we're going into the last track here, number 8, Leave It to You. There wasn't really a specific artist that I was pulling from for this track. I really just wanted to close out the album in a real kind of like grand, you know, big finale, I guess. I wanted it to be really minimal. It's just piano and my voice, you know, one layer. You know, Icy Beats took one layer, pitched it down an octave, just, and it sounds, you know, just sounded really dope, so I left it. And then he's playing some background synths on there, and it just kind of leads up to a real nice ending that I was really happy with. My boy DANGERLIN comes in at the end with some beautiful guitar chords and just, you know, a little bit of not full on soloing, but he's giving me some really beautiful notes there just to close out the project. And yeah, just, you know, like kind of coming off the heels of Too Much Too Late. It's kind of more of like a breakup, kind of you know, just ending things, I guess, really, and kind of just I guess the song more so is kind of symbolic of like I guess I'm more so talking to the listener. I'm talking to you when you're listening to the album. You know, I'm leaving it to you. You know, this album is now yours. This is for you to make your own memories too, and pull your own ideas and concepts out of it. You know, whatever. You know, that's kind of what the beauty of art. You know, you leave it up to the listener, the viewer, whoever it is that's consuming the art. You know, it's up to you to kind of put things together and take away what you feel the artist is trying to say. And I think that's the beauty of the art, and that's definitely what I was going for here with the album. So man, this is really dope. Hopefully after you guys watch this video, you can go back and listen to the album with a little bit more context and kind of see a little bit more what I was talking about and things that I was trying to convey, and maybe you come up with some different messages. Maybe I definitely made this album to be played a lot. I want the replay value of this album to be as high as possible, because I feel like it's very short. It's very it's like a compressed version of what I feel like my first R&B album, Going the Wrong Way. It's like what I feel. It's what I feel like I should have done. I should have shortened it. I should have compressed it. I should have made sure that everything was just like concentrated. And that's what I really feel this project is, man. I really love it. It's short and sweet. Get in, get out. But I feel like there's a lot to take away from it. So I really enjoyed doing this little breakdown here. Like I said, I've been doing these lyric breakdowns over the past couple of weeks, and I've really been enjoying just how in depth I can take apart what I'm trying to do, especially with writing. So with this album here, I just wanted to break down the album and just give you guys a little bit more of what I was trying to convey and the messaging and the concept of the whole album. So yeah, it's up to you guys now. So I really appreciate you guys not just tuning into the video, but tuning in to everything that I got going on, especially this album right here. This is really what I'm really kind of revolving this entire thing. That's what this whole thing has been about. The monthly releases, the email newsletter, the YouTube channel, like everything has kind of been revolving around this album right here. So it feels really good. Thank you everybody who's supporting it. And please tune in next time where you might catch something special on the YouTube channel, all right? But for now, In Plain Sight, available everywhere now. Peace.